Fibonacci by an array. So instead of our Fibonacci over here, which is by recursion, it's not really very efficient. Let's say you take the Fibonacci of 5. What the function is doing is actually this. You get the Fibonacci of 4 plus the Fibonacci of 3. Now, in the next iteration, Fib of 4 will be changed in the Fibonacci of 3 plus the Fibonacci of 2, and the Fibonacci of 3 is replaced by the Fibonacci of 2 plus the Fibonacci of 1. Okay, and then again a new iteration. Now the Fib2s, you see over here Fibonacci of 2, and again here Fibonacci of 2. Well, it will simply again change it to the Fibonacci of 0 or of 1 plus the Fibonacci of 0. So you see that you are doing a lot of stuff over and over, because now the Fib of 3 here is actually Fib of 2 plus the Fib of 1. And you need yet another one over here where you have the Fib of 1 and the Fib of 2 of 0 replaced over here. Hop. So that's what's happening, right? A lot of similar stuff being done all the time. Not very useful. Instead, we're going to work with an array, because of course it is an array, right? So, create a new function, call it fib array. It takes in a number or index, whatever you prefer. Oh. And there's a body. So the first thing we have is an array fibs containing the Fibonacci of 0 and the Fibonacci of 1. That's it. And now instead of a for each, we're going to use a for. And the for will start with also an index, which I now will just call I. Starts at 0. And this I can never be as big as the index. And the I will always become 1 bigger. So plus plus means plus 1. Okay? So, well, you could actually say small or equal, then that's going to be better. So what are you going to do in the fibs? You're going to say that the fib of I is equal to, just copy paste this, is equal to the fib I minus 1 plus I minus 2. Now, can it start at I equal to 0? No, because then this will be minus 2. So you actually start, of course, from Fibonacci number index 2, right? So index 2 is equal to index 1 plus index 0. That's what's over here. And now we return the fibs. That's it. So let's print this array. Now I don't think we need this array anymore, but I'm going to reuse the print array. Now I see that there is an echo in front of this, but actually I'm echoing over here, so I don't need the echo over there. So just print array fib array, which is our function, and then we give it a number. Let's say 20. And let's try, see if we made some bugs. No, there are no bugs, but you see it's counting. Now, in next exercises, this is harder to read, so what I will do is I will remove the keys. Now the key could be here, and it also can be there, but I'll first gonna copy it, and then mark it out. Yep. So I remove the key, just for the tutorial. So now you see more clearly all the different Fibonacci numbers. Okay, that's just to warm up and to let you know how the for works. So the for, in contrast to the for each, you actually need to know how big you need to, you're working with the index of the arrays, you see? Okay. Next exercise, what's next exercise? Bubble sort, yes, that's fun. So we create a function called bubble sort, and it takes in an array, and what we're gonna do is change the array so that it's gonna be sorted. So we'll do that later on. Let's say, yeah, well, an array A is equal to array, and then we just give some random numbers. Let's 7, 6, up. Well, that's just an array, it's not sorted, and we're gonna sort it. How do you do that? Well, the thing is, you look at one of them, like this one is bigger than this one, so what you want to do is switch the two. So it's going to be 21, 45. But then, because maybe it's later or earlier in the array, what you need to do is retry the bubble sort. So well, if you mean, I think if you search for bubble sorts, you will definitely find information on it, which is more comprehensive than what I just explained. Yes, look, nice drawings and stuff on. So you could have a look over there. I'll just focus on creating a function. So what do we need to do? We need to loop over the array, right? I'm gonna do that with a for, not a for each. It will be clear why in a second. 0 and I needs to be smaller than, so I need to know what is the size of an array, which is called count. Again, you can look in the PHP manual to see more information on it. So the count will say, in our case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So our index can never be bigger than 5 because this is 5, right? So we start at 0 and we end at 5. Okay. And then we need to say that you need to iterate. Okay, count. So what we want to do now is we're gonna need a body here, because the first thing we need, so we need to swap this number and this number, right? So to swap something, you need to actually store it somewhere. So I'm gonna make a temporary variable, and I'm gonna make it this the first value. So array of 1. Okay, I'm forgetting stuff. Okay, sorry. I'm forgetting stuff. I forgot a check, namely if array I is smaller than, or let's say array I plus 1 is bigger than array I. Now if it's bigger than, then I need to count 1 here. If it's smaller than, let's just say we're gonna do it differently. I start from 1, so I can be -1. So now I'll check, for example, the first time is I check, is array of 1s bigger than array of 0? Okay, that's my if. Just making some changes to the layout. Okay, so if it's bigger, I need to swap. How do I swap? I say that I'll put the first value in our temp. Then I'm gonna say that I'm overwriting that first one with, so the first one is -1, right? and I'm overwriting -1 with the second one, and then I'm overwriting the second one with our temporary, because now you cannot write is equal to array I anymore, because you just array I min 1 because you just overrode it over here, right? So you need the temp, and after the temp you return the bubble sort, because you need to check if other things need to change. That's this. Now if you don't need to change anything anymore, you're gonna return the array. Let's try it. So that's my array, print array, not Fibonacci, but pops bubble sort of A. Let's see how many mistakes I made. Plenty. Yes, it's the other way around, right? You need to make sure that the smaller value is bigger than the other one. That's better, right? Okay. So my array is sorted. So what I did wrong is I checked the opposite around, right? Which kind of gave me a sorted error from biggest to smallest instead of from smallest to biggest, or am I making nonsense? Let's see. Yes, just from biggest to smallest or from smallest to biggest. Always try your code. Always find ways to test parts of it. Now, there's one other thing I want to do over here. What you actually do, if you have an array over here in your index, is copy your original array, this array, and recreate it. Now, there's a way to say that you actually want that array, which is by giving ampersand in front of it. And with the ampersand in front of it, you don't need to return anything. You just need to call an iteration. And over here you don't need to return the array because you changed the a value. So if I'll replace it over here, so you can put it in front and then just call the a again. So this will be exactly the same. The difference is that now you have worked on this array, while in my previous case I was recreating an array every time I had a recursion, which meant that in some cases you have as many recursions as there are elements in your array, which is not really performant as well. So in this case you can actually just use an ampersand. In later cases you will see that they are also very useful as the only way to change anything in this array. Okay, so that's why you could use the ampersand.